My girlfriend wants to throw a party, but I know no one will show up.
What a freaking party pooper, am I right?
Birthdays have always been hard on my 20 male girlfriend turning 21 female. She has had a few parties as a child where no one showed up.
Oh my God.
What the heck? And since moving states in the middle of high school, she hasn't made close friends. Here at college, she tries hard to make friends. She talks well to people on a superficial basis, but doesn't have any real friends. She's never been invited to a college party and has often missed out on many typical activities. By the way, this comes from Birthday Parties 4. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, we've been together for 3 years since freshman orientation. I don't have friends, but I'm happy that way. I like keeping to myself if I'm not spending time with her. Since she's naturally extroverted, she spends her free time with me or at club meetings trying to connect to people. She's asked if I could put together a small party, so I invited some acquaintances, my roommates, etc. Everyone said no. I gave the invites well in advance, too. I don't know how to break the news to my girlfriend. She's been so excited. She thought providing free food and drinks would be a great way to make friends, but people don't want to come for even that. What can I do?
Oh my gosh.
It's so sad.
This is really sad. That's always the most heartbreaking thing when you're like putting so much effort into hosting or making a party or something like that and no one shows up.
No one comes?
That's the worst feeling ever.
The thing is, I will say, if you want 20 people to show up, invite 40.
Yeah, true.
Those are the rules. It's
True.
like double the amount because you'll get half.
Yeah.
My rule that I typically go by is if I want one amount, double it.
Always double it.
Comments deleted. Why do all these people, friends, roommate, etc., dislike her enough not to come? If she's extroverted, what's going wrong with how she interacts with people to make them not want to be around her? OP says, I don't know. She can be a bit silly and goofy, but I like that about her. She doesn't cause drama. She's a good listener and has a good sense of humor. She's extroverted, but tends to be shy around new people. She also tends to act pretty differently depending on the person. I do that too, to an extent. Honestly, I don't know why people are all declining. I've never been invited to a party, but I'd go to support someone. Deleted. Why didn't you ask them? OP says they all make BS excuses about being busy. Some of these people I know are not busy that day. I don't think they want to insult her to my face. Hunt Gather says they probably don't actually dislike her. They're probably basically neutral about her and are surprised that they're invited to her party. Did you tell them that it's a small party? People will attend big parties even if they're not super close to the host, but a small party basically says close friends only. They may even feel that you were mistaken inviting them if they think it's a small party for her best friends. Edit. Recently, a woman invited me and a few of my friends to her birthday party. We weren't close with her and definitely wouldn't have gone to her apartment for drinks because it would have felt weird since, again, we weren't close. But her party was a karaoke party, which is something my friends and I like to do anyway. So we showed up and had a great time with her. Is there anything that your acquaintances love to do that you could build your party around instead of drinking?
That's honestly what I was thinking of.
And there is an update. But yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, I was honestly thinking about that too. Like, I wonder if there's an activity or something so it's not just like we're going to come and you have to only make conversation the whole time.
One day later, I logged into Facebook at like 2 a.m. last night and my girlfriend has posted a message on the party event wall saying the party was canceled. She saw the no-shows before I could let her know about it. I called her and suggested some other activities we could do, things like amusement parks or concerts or taking a cooking class. I thought she'd like all those. No, thank you. We were kind of quiet over the phone until she asked me in a really small voice if I could come over. We met outside her dorm at like 3 a.m. She was crying as I expected, but it was just watery eyes, not full-on sobs, how she usually cries. It's okay, she said. Some people aren't meant to have friends.
Oh my gosh.
Stop.
So not true.
Stop. Making friends is hard.
Especially in college. Yeah, it is.
It's so hard.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
I wonder too if she's like picking the right people.
Probably. I mean, yeah.
Because like
picking the people that actually show up to things is hard.
Yeah.
People don't show up to things.
It's true.
That's just like, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
I told her she was exaggerating, that she just needs to look in different places, etc. She shook her head. No, I'm done. This morning at breakfast, we passed a lot of mutual acquaintances. Usually my girlfriend smiles and says hello. Today, she just kept her eyes on the pavement, not looking at anyone. She barely ate. But other than that, she seemed like her normal self with me, talking and laughing. She just wouldn't look at anyone else. She told me how she's going to use this extra time to get better in her classes, to work on her jewelry, and maybe open an Etsy shop, to read more books. Asked her if this is really what she wanted. No, but life doesn't always give you what you want. I didn't want to be an engineer. I didn't want to live in a basement alone. I didn't want to hate college and wish every day that I could drop out, but you make the best of it. This is so sad.
This is really sad.
This is so sad.
This poor girl.
Like, honestly, girl, join a theater. Go join a musical or a play.
Period.
Because the amount of friends that you make when you have to be with these people for hours every day.
Yeah, and have fun with them.
And have fun with them and be goofy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're silly goofy, apparently.
Yeah.
Go literally
It's
join
the
a play.
perfect place.
Join a play.
Yeah.
Her voice was breaking as she said this, but she didn't cry. She left the breakfast table after that and said she wanted to be alone. Where the heck do I go from here? Her actual birthday is tomorrow. We were throwing the party a week later, and she insists she doesn't want to do anything. Is it bad that part of me sort of agreed with her, that some people aren't meant to make friends? I don't think I am, but obviously she wants friends, and it makes her miserable. Edit, I'm sitting with her in her dorm room right now. She's on the bed reading. I'm on the couch minding my own business, just being near her. She's okay. And there are some comments. Relithro404 says, I've read the entirety of your other thread and your comments here, and I have a few thoughts that I hope you won't take personally. You seem to truly care for your girlfriend, and I think you're a great boyfriend to her. That being said, neither of you seem to understand social interactions, and you seem to be reinforcing each other's misunderstandings. You wrote that she skips from group to group events, but hasn't even been able to get a girl to go for coffee with her. That's understandable. You would have to meet up in a group setting a few times in college to be memorable and comfortable enough for a one-on-one invite. I feel like she fails on getting the one-on-one invite, and she feels as though she's doing something wrong. And you feel as though she's doing something wrong, when in reality, she's approaching the situation incorrectly to begin with. If she wants to make friends, she should sign up for book clubs, knitting circles, jewelry making groups, and go to them continuously. Great point.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like that commenter is right in go to clubs that you already have, you know, you already enjoy. So like the book clubs, the jewelry, those are things that she already loves doing.
Right. I was wondering what clubs she goes to because he mentioned clubs, but I do wonder if it's like, again, like what we were saying earlier, like if it's the right people that are actually similar to her.
Well, I remember my freshman year, I went to literally like I signed up for like 10 different clubs.
Beautiful.
And just went to a bunch of different ones.
Yeah.
And I realized I wasn't a club person. I was like, wow, these aren't my thing. Go to www.meetup.com and find some groups for her in your area. They will usually have a good mix of college kids and older in a college town, giving her exposure to people in all stages of life and, more importantly, social spectrum. These are people who want to make friends. Frankly, the fact that you aren't interested in friends is holding her back, though that's not your fault. She wants to be social and has entered into a cycle of not having friends, getting desperate, alienating people through desperation, not having friends. You may feel as though she should just give up, but if she picks up on that, it's only going to make her worse. She is clearly a social person. I have a feeling that you not wanting friends as a personal choice and focusing solely on work and your girlfriend is deterring many people who know you two as a couple. They probably see you as cold and or emotionless, even if you don't mean to be that way. It is unusual to be disinterested in friendship, especially after so long. You've had roommates for 3 or 4 years in college, get along reasonably well with them, and yet have never been interested in them as friends. Of course they won't come to your girlfriend's party. I wouldn't want to either. I would feel weirded out by even being asked. If you want to help your girlfriend, you may just have to step outside of your own social comfort zone a little and at least try to be a little friendlier. Couples tend to meet people together, and if you're coming off as aloof and not needing human interaction by choice, you're going to run people off away from her. Edit, by the way, I don't mean to put the onus on you to change. If she was here asking for advice, I would be focusing on her. But she's already gotten some great advice from other people here, and I wanted to comment on some things that were sticking out to me in your reply. And there is an update, but yeah, I would say I agree with that comment completely.
I totally agree.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I was wondering like the same thing. Like if I feel like there's also a way for her to get friends like through her boyfriend. Like if her boyfriend had friends, I mean, like,
well, it seems
look
like
at us.
All of the people that she invited to the party were people that he invited.
True.
It was a lot of like, oh, I invited my roommates and my acquaintances and people I know in my classes and stuff. who, again, that commenter is saying, if he has been kind of standoffish and like, I don't need friends, 'cause he said, I don't have any friends.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, they probably would be like, why is he inviting me to this thing?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is an update. 2 days later. Short update here. I stayed with my girlfriend for a while last night. She just read a book and didn't talk much. I cuddled her a bit, but she mostly wanted space. This morning, I came to her room with flowers and a gift. She accepted the flowers with a smile. She told me she wanted to go home to her parents this weekend. I was pretty sad about that. I wanted to make her feel loved and special, but she said she needed to get off campus for a bit. So I said okay. I took her to the bus stop, said goodbye, and now here I am. She did love the present, though. It was a book she'd been wanting for a while. Hopefully she'll feel better when she comes back. Comments. Admin UK. You have done the right thing so far, so very well done. You are a heck of a guy. One thing, though, you might want to ring ahead and tell her parents what happened. I know she seems okay, but you don't go from the level of sadness she has had over the last few days to okay that quickly. Might be best if they keep an eye on her. Opie says she's already home by now. It's not very far. And they're likely celebrating her birthday. I don't really want to put a damper on things. She obviously wants to move on. Admin UK says, fair enough then. Still credit to you. You're an awesome boyfriend and a great human being. I know everyone is feeling for your girlfriend right now, including myself. But you have been through heck too. I've been in similar situations and I know how helpless and useless you feel. But you're doing all the right things. Top human marks for you. Opie says thanks. I appreciate it. Alice in Borderland says, remember what people said in your last update. Maybe just a quick call to be sure she arrived safely. Nothing more needed. OP says she called me once she got there. She's fine. And there's a third update.
Oh, wow.
2 months later.
Wow.
I'm really hoping like he took all the advice for her.
Yeah.
And, implemented some of these changes.
Right. And maybe she's just had some time to kind of either like deal with it or pick herself up from all that. Yeah.
I hope so.
Let's find out.
2 months later. Anyway, oh no, the school year is in full swing and she cries all the time. No! At least 3 times a week, if not more. She feels like she's taking advantage of my kindness, so she tries not to cry in front of me.
Oh my God.
She's completely abandoned the search to find friends and doesn't go out except for food, class, etc. There are happy moments too, and she'll still go out with me, but she just seems fragmented overall. She actually did pursue therapy at our university because she felt like she really needed someone to talk to that wasn't me. They informed her that all the spots they had were full and that unless she was a self-harm risk, they didn't have room.
Oh my gosh.
They're like, I don't know, are you going to unalive yourself? And she's like, no. And they're like, well, you're
not bad enough to need therapy.
Yeah, well, come back when you are. What?
That's crazy.
Heartless, right? It really made her feel bad, but she didn't want to lie and say she was a self-harm risk. She feels lonelier than ever. There's no doubt in my mind that she's depressed. She pours all her energy into schoolwork and hasn't really touched her hobbies much either. She can't afford therapy other than the university, and they won't give it to her. Is there any way she can get the help she needs? Oh
my gosh.
By the way, you can help us by listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left. This was depressing. I thought she was going to turn around.
I had high hopes.
I really hoped. Deleted. Lastly, and this might be difficult to hear, she needs to stop placing so much of a priority on people liking her and wanting to hang out with her. I learned long ago that some people just won't like you. And that's perfectly okay. Nothing at all you can do about it. She should pursue her interests, join clubs, etc. When she begins appearing more confident and well-adjusted, friendships will naturally follow. Ding, 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 knockout. Reply from OP. That's what she's been doing for the last 3 years. She was actually pretty confident for a while. But I guess she always thought she would have made 1 or 2 friends by now, and it's starting to crash down around her. Procyon says, you're in your senior year, right? Unfortunately, by now, most people already have a circle of friends. It's going to be much harder to suddenly become the new person in a group who have been hanging out together for years. Close friends in college may not happen for her. She should focus more on getting through school and what comes after. Who knows, maybe everyone in her new job will love her. At the very least, it will be a fresh start. Have you considered moving in together after school? I'm pretty introverted and don't hang out with people much, but I come home to my boyfriend every day, and that means a lot to me. I don't ever feel lonely. Opie says, we do plan to move in together. I plan to propose after graduation.
Whoa.
Wow. But she doesn't have any plans for herself for after graduation, so I don't know if she'll be happy or not. Procyon says, then that's my advice to you. Stop focusing on college and focus on what comes after. She needs to start making plans. She's planning to have a career, right? Can she look into getting an internship in something related to her field? Please remind her that she'll be starting all over again after she graduates anyway. Stick it out, and then just keep trying. Opie says she's in a major she hates, so she's been avoiding everything related to after graduation. I worry about what she's going to do. She's very smart, but her major isn't right for her at all. So if she got into an industry, she'd probably hate it. Procyon says, well, she's got to figure it out eventually, so why not now? She has to work somewhere after graduating, or you're going to end up supporting her financially. Opie says, I don't mind supporting her, but I know she wouldn't like that. Procyon says, so talk to her about it. Help her make a concrete plan, then start taking steps to make it happen. Start figuring it out. Where are you guys going to live? What career path is she going to choose? What can she do now, today, to make it easier to get into that career? You say you want to help, so help her. That is going to involve the two of you actually doing something. OP says, I mean, she'll live with me. I've gotten a job and such. She already plans to move with me. But I do agree that she needs to figure out a plan for herself. She wouldn't be happy just staying at home. And that is the end of that story. I'm sad.
I want to meet this girl.
I want her to have a friend.
I will be her friend.
I'll be your friend.
I volunteer.
I volunteer.
This is just so hard, but because it's the kind of thing where it's like you don't realize that there are so many other people that feel the same way.
Oh yeah,
like
you feel so alone.
Yeah, but in college, it's like everyone is looking for a friend.
Yes,
everyone is too scared to make friends and like follow through and stuff. Like again, like we said earlier, a lot of these people probably weren't just canceling because of her. Try to find the people, if it's on the internet, so be it. Like try to find the people that are similar to you, follow up, talk about their lives, because then they feel comfortable around you and want to talk. Just keep trying. It's not over yet. Please.
Please, please, please.
My fiance is ashamed of my sister, so I'm reconsidering marrying him.
If you don't like my sister, you're out.
I would like to know if I'm being overdramatic or overreacting. I'm 29 years old and my fiance is also 29. We've known each other since 2015 because he attends the same religious church as me. We started dating in 2022 and he proposed to me in February of this year. We have plans to get married in October. He's an only child and I have one little sister who has some special needs, with me being an only sibling to my little sister who is 19. By the way, this comes from Mermaid for Life 96, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, if something were to happen to my parents and when they can no longer care for her, she'll be living with me. She's not severely disabled. She has Down syndrome and a low IQ. She's very independent though. She can walk, talk, eat, shop, do a lot of skills on her own with minimal assistance. She's just very vulnerable and isn't aware of safety. My fiance is fully aware of the circumstances regarding our future and has accepted her living with us. It becomes a topic a lot since we're also considering having our own kids. So not all of the time, but sometimes when my fiance and I go out, I include my sister. I do respite for my sister, and I get paid to do respite for her. Again, my fiance has always been acceptable with me including her when we hang out. We went out yesterday and I included my sister. My whole night felt ruined though because of him. We went out to eat and my sister was trying to order, but he kept rushing her when she was stuttering a bit. I didn't make a scene and kept silent due to not wanting to make a scene. We went to the mall next to go shop at my sister's and I's favorite store. My fiance stayed out of the store, which was fine because this store is aimed towards women. When we got done with shopping, my little sister was showing him what she got, and he didn't say anything and didn't even show any interest. I confronted him a bit, and he made a rude remark saying, God forbid me not caring about your sister's fragrances. Our last stop was Target, and I had to get some things, and I had my sister help with scanning things. He seemed annoyed and told me that she needs to speed things up because this is awkward.
What are you rushing off to?
Yeah, what do you have to do with all these few seconds?
Yeah.
Mind you, there wasn't even a line and multiple self-checkouts were open. When he dropped me off at home yesterday, I didn't even say anything. As much as I want us to grow together, I can't be with someone who belittles my sister. Do I have a right to be upset? And there are some comments, but what are your comments, Sophia?
Absolutely.
Totally.
Like you have already said that in the case that something happens, in the event that something happens to your parents, you are going to be taking care of your sister.
Yeah.
So this isn't just like oh yeah, she's my sister. You have to be around her on holidays. Right. This is someone you might, be taking care of forever.
Exactly. And like if you guys are talking about having kids,
there is a high likelihood that one of your kids might have Down syndrome.
Yeah, and just kids in general need so much patience. And he is clearly not having any patience.
No.
Like, is it going to be embarrassing for your kids to, like, I don't know, not know how to walk?
Yeah.
But everyone else will understand because they're freaking kids.
Yeah, it's like the 2-year-old doesn't know how to talk right.
So embarrassing.
Figure it out.
Gosh. But there are some comments. Budget discussion 568 says, I'm confused about what was awkward at Target. Her in general? Her speed while checking items or a lack thereof? Either way, I'd be offended and feel protective of her because I can't see his perspective about either being valid. I'm so sorry he was mean to you and towards her. The term red flag exists for this reason. Continue the engagement, but be very aware of what and how he says things. If you continue to see red flags, make the hard choice sooner than later. OP says, I was having her scan items because it's a goal that she works on since she gets state services for her intellectual disability. We had a full cart and it was taking a little longer than usual to finish because she would accidentally scan something twice. So the staff was kind of hanging close around us in case we needed assistance. I think he low-key feels embarrassed just by her presence and feels like we're being stared at. Brightbag293 says, you obviously don't have to if you don't want, but I'm very curious to know what this loser of a man looks like. A lot of losers who talk crap are insecure and below average looking. OP says, it'll be breaking the rules if I post him, but I don't mind sending you a picture of him through PM on here. Confusable Fraggle says, OP, I think things are a bit more worrisome than you are letting yourself believe. He is treating your sister as a nuisance. He is not low-key embarrassed. He is outright ashamed to be seen in public with your sister. His behavior is rude and belittling and dismissive. I currently work in retail and have to oversee the self-check machines often. If he is getting upset because a person learning to use the machine is slower than a person who already knows, he lacks both patience and empathy. I've watched many people come through those machines. Many times we have to fix an accidentally doubled item or a barcode that rings in wrong or what have you. The way people react in those situations is very telling. It's a tiny little stress moment in their day, but it shows their character. Your fiancé is currently showing very poor character. If he has this poor of an attitude about a small oops like these, he will have a much worse attitude about bigger problems. Of course, there are always folks who were already having a bad day and thus react out of proportion. But all you did was take your sister for an outing together. That shouldn't be a bad day for a decent human. This requires a very in-depth conversation at the very least. You need to get to the bottom of what he actually thinks and believes about you, your sister, and your family. His mother's comment about the gene pool shows that he has been taught from the cradle to devalue anyone with a handicap of any kind. I don't think we got that comment in there.
Yeah.
But I'm very curious about what that is.
Where was that?
Yeah.
The gene pool? That sounds bad.
That definitely does.
I feel like the mom was probably making a comment about them having kids then.
Yeah, probably. I apologize for not having a better word than handicap to describe the mindset problem. If he is actively working to undo that conditioning, that is good, but he obviously has a very long way to go. If he is trying to just get by until the wedding, his mask is slipping badly. Either way, your sister does not deserve to be treated as his social dues for being a good guy. She is a human with her own dignity and deserves to be treated as such. I hope you can get to the bottom of this quickly, OP. You are not overreacting at all. I'm afraid you are likely underreacting to the problem in front of you. Best of luck, OP. May you find a nice shiny spine and use it well for your own benefit and then for others. Hugs if you want them. And then Allison C. Miller says, I can empathize with both of you here. I had a niece with special needs and it can be a lot. So I can't blame anyone for not being ready to have that in their life, but it's important for him to respectfully say, I'm sorry, I'm not ready for that, instead of lying to you to keep his romantic access, to put it overly politely. This is a huge red flag. Try to work it out with him if you want, but for the sake of the kids, don't have this man's kids. Being a parent requires way more patience than he's shown he's capable of, and you just know if one of them is disabled, he'll blame you and your family's genes. Yikes. Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
True.
Absolutely.
Helicopter No 4166 says, Nor, one thing to keep in mind, aside from how he treats her sister, is that in marriage, there will be times when you will need him to be your caregiver. It could be after the birth of a child that took an unexpected turn, surgery where you can't even bathe without assistance. If he treats your sister the way he does, ask yourself if he would treat you the same way when he is supposed to care for you. I would have an honest conversation with him about your expectations in this marriage and as if this is something he is capable of. OP responds, his mother actually asked my parents about our gene pool when we went out with his parents one time. I think this is our information.
Gross.
No? Yikes.
Gross.
But said afterwards she would love her grandchild regardless.
Sorry, she brought up what's the gene pool and then says, oh, but whatever it is, I'll love my grandchild.
Yeah.
Why did you say it like that?
Like, why even bring it up
Why
then?
even bring it up?
So I just let that one go. So the overall judgment is not the a-hole. And there is an update from only 5 days later.
Uh-oh.
Do you have any comments before we move on?
Well, I think that you should have a very frank conversation with your partner and say, one, my sister's not going anywhere, so you need to learn how to treat her properly and kindly and respectfully.
Right.
Because she's still an adult and she just still deserves respect.
Yeah.
And kindness. Well, I think she's an adult. I'm not sure.
She's 19.
She's 19. Okay, so she's 19. She's still an adult. Treat her respectfully.
Yeah.
She's not going anywhere. And then again, secondly, are you going to be like, this runs in my family. There's a possibility that my child might be born with a disability. So are you up for that? Because if you're not, then let's cut it off here. If you are not 100% ready for your child to be born with like a mental disability, a physical disability, then you're not ready to be a parent with me.
Exactly. There is an update. So after posting about it, reading most of the comments, and doing some deep thinking, I've decided to cut ties with him last Sunday. Whoa. It was one of the most hardest things that I've had to do because we've had our future planned out and he was my first relationship. Oh, wow. Family will always come first with me, and I'm not going to be with someone who is an ableist, especially when him and I can end up with a disabled child someday because muscular dystrophy does run in my family. As far as my future, I'm a pediatric registered nurse, so I'm going to keep focusing on my career. I have a savings account set up, so I'm planning on applying for an apartment very soon. I'm also going on a Bohemian cruise in October that was supposed to be our honeymoon, but I'll be going with my best friend instead. Nice. So I'm ecstatic for that. I'm going to keep living my life as best I can and not dwell over a relationship that obviously wasn't meant to be. For the few people who made comments such as, I'm just going to end up single because no one wants the package that I come with. That's terrible. Yeah. Just know that I see the ableism in you, and you might want to humble yourselves because anyone can become disabled respectfully. By the way, anyone can listen to full episodes with more stories just like this one. Just go to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime.
Anyone can do it.
Anyone can do it. There is a little bit more to the story, but do you have any final thoughts?
I feel like that it does feel, maybe just in the way that's been written, it does feel very quick.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it is the right decision in the long term.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like he's up for this kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like he wants her sister around. And
right.
I fear that he might isolate her further from her sister in the long run.
Yeah, exactly. But we do have a little bit more to the story. So for some comments, Stardust Stuffing says, good for you. My daughter is autistic and requires a lot of patience and understanding. I'd lose my mind if someone I knew treated her badly because of her extra needs. So how did he take it? I'm really curious to know. And OP responds, it went pretty sour, but I expected it because he has a pretty short temper. Another red flag.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. Which is crazy to admit because we are both part of the LDS church. But a little context. So before officially breaking up on Saturday, we went out because I really wanted to get down to the root of the problem on why he was so disgusted by my sister. He started gaslighting me and making me feel like it was a me issue. That's when I knew that it wasn't going to work. And on Sunday, I had him come over to my house and I told him that we're done. He started crying and apologizing. Then he turned into a hothead and demanded the ring back and everything that I owned that he bought for me. Crazy, right? Mind you, this happened at my parents' house where I'm currently living. They were already aware of his behavior. And when he demanded everything back and refused to leave my bedroom, I just texted my mom for help because it was the first time that he showed genuine rage at me and I didn't want to get physically hurt. My dad, who is a retired cop, came up and told him to leave. Yeah, when your safety comes into play, this is not someone that you should be with at all.
No.
Boxfin says, well, to be fair, if he proposed to you, you should give him back his ring. Opie says, the ring I absolutely did give back, but clothes that I own and have worn multiple times, car keys that he had insisted to replace when I lost mine in the past, and other petty things like that, I refuse to just give back. OK Research 5686 says totally fair returning the ring, shows respect, but keeping personal items you've used and were gifted makes sense. Not everything needs to be handed back out of spite. And that is the end of that story.
I think OP made the absolutely right choice.
Absolutely.
So obviously the right choice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even just having a quick temper, I'm like, no. That's a big red flag. For sure.
No. Yikes.
Yeah. Definitely made the right decision.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be fine. She'll have so much fun on that cruise.
Yes.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be a good cruise.